So we will just start from the left. David, why don't you tell us about Nephros?
Nephros is a tiefling sorcerer. Looks to have some crimson red scales along his body here and there, and seems to be fairly quiet for the most part. Busy reading his notes that he has in a journal.
Okay. And Bargle, tell us about Victor.
Victor, he's be a little shady, maybe not. He's standing there, he's got shield and twirling a quarterstaff. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. Mm-hmm. So nothing else we need to know about. He's just quiet, has a shield and a quarterstaff.
He could be mischievous. That's
okay. And Anna, you want to tell us about Tala?
Yeah, Tala is a shifter who's a ranger.
It says that you have not enabled character imports for Dimgaard Mondays.
Well, that is not true. Everyone else was able to import there. Or no, I guess maybe everybody else built theirs on there. All right. Go ahead, Anna. I'm sorry, we didn't mean to interrupt.
So Tala is a shifter and a ranger, and she's spent most of her life in the Feywild, but has recently come back from the Feywild and is trying to navigate this plane. And she's very shy and reserved, and she speaks common, but she doesn't speak it very well, so she just kind of keeps to herself most of the time.
Okay. And now, Gabe, you should be able to import. I've changed that.
Thank you.
Morgan, tell us about Sage.
All right. Sage is also a ranger. Oh, you're doing it. Sage is also a ranger. He is a wood elf, although isn't quite as tall as what you would normally consider elves to be. Just definitely interested in his surroundings, and pays close attention to anything. Like, he's easily intrigued by what's around him. So,
Okay.
To do it.
Do I need to? Oh, do I need to put my AC on my display name?
Oh, it helps. It's not absolutely necessary, but it does help. And then, Gabe, you want to tell us about Cade?
Cade is a semi-professional bounty hunter who attempts to catch bounties. However, he's quite bad at it, being a halfling. So he's enlisted the help of a dog, and it so far has gone slightly better for him ever since acquiring the dog, who he's lovingly named Tarpaw, as he is Cade Tarfoot. Apart from awful puns, he's a little crazy-eyed and on the wild side. However, he's very lawful in his actions. Think, crazy pioneer.
He has a moral code.
Most certainly.
So everyone should see everybody else's tokens there, and you should be able to move your.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Yep.
so let's talk about getting to where we are now. So you have technically an indefinite amount of downtime prior to starting venturing, although you don't really have any money. But if you have ideas for how you wanted to spend that downtime, that would certainly be something that would be appropriate.
Oh, you got out on me. What was that?
So you have an indefinite amount of downtime that you could have spent prior to your starting your adventuring. So if you have any ideas for something that you would have done with that prior to starting adventuring, now would be the time to bring that out. Just I'll give you an example. In the DMG, there's a downtime activity called performing sacred rites, which costs nothing except for downtime.
I was actually going to ask about that.
So you could have done that.
Out of curiosity, where will the campaign primarily being taking place in Dimgaard?
We will start down here. I'll show you what that map looks like. This is where we will begin. And we'll see where we go from there, though.
Man, this map looks familiar.
This is where I start a lot of my campaigns. Almost all of them, really.
Where is the nearest big city from here? Because I'd like for him to attempt to acquire a bounty license in that city.
Odile is the nearest true city. About 30,000 people live there. But there, in between, there is the ducal seat is called Morsgate. It's about 10,000 people, and its influence stretches into the Alshan region. All right, so then, if nothing else, everyone's going to start with a day's worth of good berries from a kindly druid who's going to stop along the way. So everyone has we'll call it 4 good berries.
Okay.
Is there anyone who's not familiar with what a good berry does? It gives you a hit point. What a good berry does. But it's only good for 12 hours or 24 hours. So you got a day's worth of before they will go away. They also completely nourish you. Okay, well that didn't take as much time as I thought it would. I thought it would take a lot longer to get our character settled in. All right, so you've come into your own, and it's time to establish your independence. And in that endeavor, we have met each other in the town of Leechport, which is a riverfront town down here. It is a town of about 2,000 people. It technically has an earl that rules it, but really it is run by the mayor, who doubles as the head of the Thieves Guild. So his name is Celius. He's well known. He moves through the streets. He's widely liked. He runs a good city. It provides all the necessities you would need in a village for an adventurer type. And is there anything we want to do there before we jump into things?
I would like to actually see if I can get some information on if anyone has heard or seen anything draconic in nature.
Yes, they have. There is actually a great deal of rumors. Over the past several weeks, there was a proliferation of baby green dragons that are supposed to have been dispersed throughout the region. The individual who did that was eliminated by adventurers, but the actual baby dragons have not been found. And that is a good place for Jameson to make his point. So, approaching you is a guy who wears very fine clothes. Looks like he could be a noble. Introduces himself, says, "I'm Jameson. I'm not of this area. So I serve the barony of Verdatis, which you may or may not have heard from. It's several days' travel to the north. But the Rulli family has an interest in dragons, and these rumors of dragons has brought me here. It is important that I get any information regarding actual dragons or dragonkin before any other entities. And I understand that your obligations may prevent you from keeping that activity secret. I'm not saying that report it to whatever other entities that you have a duty to. I'm just saying that I will pay to get that information first before you relay it to anybody else."
Would he ever relate all that to any of us that were asking for adventure?
Yes. Mm-hmm. He's heard that you are adventurers. He suspects that you may encounter some sort of draconic activity because his information is that there's a lot of it. And he just wants to be the first one you contact if you run into that.
For the sake of expediency, could we all have been in the same place whenever this conversation arose?
Say that again. I'm sorry?
For the sake of expediency, would it be possible for the entire party, as it were, to be at the same tavern when this is being mentioned?
I'm presuming that, yes.
Okay, lovely.
I'm presuming that we are in the same common house or tavern. We are taking our breakfast when he seeks you out.
All right. Cade would ask him, "So, why do you want to know?"
The Verdatis family has a long history with dragons. Somewhere in their distant ancestry, the draconic blood intermingled with their family bloodline. And they have a vested interest in seeing the reputation of dragons, particularly green dragon. That's the particular flavor that has infested their bloodline. And they are deliberately attempting to rehabilitate the reputation of dragons. And so part of that would be that they would want to have first access to dragons in order to manage that situation, to keep it from turning into something ugly that would even further bias individuals against dragonkind.
Okay. How much you gonna give me to tell you first?
Well, 50 gold pieces goes a long way for a beginning adventurer, and that would certainly...
How many dragons are out there, you think?
We know that there are at least a half a dozen babies who were the product of the half-orc wizard's experimentation. We don't know exactly the location of those half a dozen baby dragons, and we don't know if there are more than a half a dozen. There may be as many as a dozen.
Oh, well, this just keeps getting better and better.
Sage would probably go ahead and say, so aside from dragons, is there anything else that we should be worried about? Anything else that should take our attention?
Well, I mean, the world is a dark and dangerous place. There are threats galore, so you never know what other things might manifest.
Right.
But our primary concern at the moment are these baby green dragons. We would like to see them. Right. So the Verdatis family firmly believes that if we can intervene, we can interrupt the natural progression of these dragons and prevent them from becoming evil.
Out of curiosity, is that 50 gold for each person that brings information in, or?
Yeah.
What if we brought you dragons?
What about,
well, that would be worth significantly more to us, yes.
what if I get them all back? You still gonna pay me? What if I die? What happens
Well, the Verzatis family has resources to help with things. If things go very badly for you, if you are in our service, we would do what we could to recover your body and get you back amongst the living.
Well, I'll just hope that nothing bad happens. Nothing bad. But
That's always a good thing to hope. Yes.
I look at everybody else around. What do you guys think about this situation?
Morgan?
I personally, I'm interested in at least attempting. I think we're all capable of being able to tell what we can and cannot handle, and I think it's worth giving a try.
What's the guy with the funny shoulder pads, think? Is he coming? That's Stryk3r.
I don't know what shoulder pads you're talking about.
What's that behind his shoulders there?
I don't see shoulder pads you're talking about.
He's got like double shoulder pads going on here.
You must see icons that I don't.
If you go to your character sheet and you go to the character sheet image.
Oh, you're looking at the character sheet. Okay.
He's wearing like 2 shoulder pads over top of each other.
Yeah. One would assume where the dragons will be found, I'm going to be there. I have a current research study that I'm doing, so I'm already going.
Alright, and we keep what we find, right? Yeah, I think I heard you guys say that. I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
So, what about this person? Who's that guy? He's got a shield. Cool. Is he coming?
Name's Victor. Yeah, I'm going.
Okay. So, shield guy, funny shoulder pads guy. Tiny guy.
Oh, I see what you're talking about, funny shoulder pads. No. The weird design in the background behind the character, that's not the shoulder pads.
So, that was directed towards the person that is presumably a gnome that is only slightly smaller than this guy, who's a halfling, aka Anna's character.
And this character is a shifter. She's not a.
Okay.
Tala is a. Yeah. So, what is Tala's position on hunting?
I heard my name, but the mic was cutting out. I'm so sorry.
What is Tala's position on hunting dragons?
So we have this.
Noble.
Yeah, we have a noble who has presented us with at least a unifying idea of trying to find some of these dragons. How does Tala feel about that?
She doesn't look up from her food. She's kind of not making eye contact because she's not good about that. And she says, yeah, sure. I'll fight whatever.
Okay.
Good enough for me.
Is that fighting with a purpose or fighting because...
You might need to turn up your mic a little bit there, Bartle. You're at a whisper to us. Okay, so then the challenge is at least some signs of these dragons. And how are we going to go about that?
Wait, I'm sorry, repeat that. We have to get their spines?
No, the challenge is to at least get some sort of information about these dragons, right? If we're going to capture them, right now we have, all we know is that they exist. How are we going to find out where they are?
Well, gather information around tavern or around the local market, per se? Maybe see if anyone around there has any idea?
Okay. I'm all right with that. There are lots and lots of dragons stories at this moment. Like I said, it's been a hot topic in the region for several weeks now. Does anyone have a pretty good insight by any chance?
I'm decent.
+4.
That's better than mine.
+4.
Better than mine.
Can the +4s assist each other?
I'll assist you if I can.
Yeah, make an insight check there with advantage. Then. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, well, there you go.
Okay, so like I said, there's just a cloud of rumors. Some of them are wild and extreme. There are threats of a lizard folk invasion and kobolds who have adopted dragon worship and could rain down destruction at any moment. But the notable thing, the thing that seems to stand out, is that this village of Tallywood is curiously disconnected at the moment. Like usually they are sending they're sending products to both Litchfort and Schmidtford on a regular basis. But over the past several days, the expected exchange of goods, and they specialize in things that are harvested from this forest. So like nuts and berries in exchange for the things that they don't have there. And those have been missing. And there have been some inquiries sent from the Earl to find out why, and they have come back with just not even an excuse, just been dismissed summarily by the noble there.
Okay.
Well, sounds like a decent spot to start then.
Okay, so Tallywood is it's a small village. It only has a little over 100 people who live there, and it is dominated by the strong house that served as Sir Hambus's keep. And so, how are we approaching? Just going to march in, or I mean,
are there any hills nearby the town?
This is all sort of gently rolling hills. I mean, there's not any. I mean, there are. It's not rugged terrain, but there are some gently rolling hills, things that would rise.
So there'd be like a spot where we could see, like, a good portion of the town, on like a hill nearby, or.
You going to spend a day watching them, or are you going to?
Well, it's like half a day's trip, right? Or am I confused
Not
about the scale?
even half a day. Yeah, not even half a day. You could be there in a couple of hours.
So I think what we should do is we should go over there and we'll hang out, watch the town a little bit for a little while, see if we see anything unusual while we're setting up camp, and we'll spend the night and we'll keep an eye on things. Everything will be great. And then next morning we'll go into town.
Sounds like a fine idea to me.
Yeah, sounds like a real good idea.
I'll give
That's
me time
fine with
to
me.
gather my notes and take down any further info that we might need while we're in there.
I go for a shift.
All right, so we spent a couple of hours watching Tallywood, and there are a couple of things that are obvious. So this Berrywood is supposed to be sort of an idyllic little forest, but you can see that it is actually extremely thick in undergrowth. Like it does not look like it would be easy to penetrate Berrywood at all if you were going in there to sort of casually harvest berries. There are some clearly indicated paths into it, but it's just a nearly a jungle type situation there. And along about noon, some of the villagers look like they're going to go into the berrywood to harvest, nuts and natural occurring vegetation. But they are gone less than 10 minutes, and they come back with baskets full of the type of things you would expect: berries and fresh fruit. So it looks like maybe they didn't actually go harvest it, but that it was just sort of waiting inside the edge there, and they just went and picked it up and have returned to Tallywood with it.
How far away is Berrywood from Tallywood?
It sits right up against it. Yeah, the village blends right into the forest.
Something's going on with berries, and I think we should check it out.
I mean, should we check it out now or tonight?
Well, why would we go at night? We can go talk to them in the daytime. You can see in the daytime if something goes down.
If something bad's happening, I don't think they're gonna tell us.
I don't expect a straight answer from them, but I do think that I could possibly persuade somebody. But
I will put up to a vote. So, what are the votes?
So the options are go tonight or we go right now?
Yeah, the options are go tonight, something else, or go now.
And so far, all we've noticed is it seems like they're just going right into the beginning of the forest and coming back with full harvest.
Right.
Yeah, so the two salient points are that Berrywood looks much less hospitable than you'd think that a well-harvested forest would be. Like it is a untamed jungle rather than a idyllic forest that a medieval village would rely upon. And then the second thing is that these villagers seem to be able to. There appears to have been a bounty just waiting at the edge. They were able to just scoop up with little effort at all.
Yeah. That's not how growing anything works. That's not how you do it. Something's not right over there.
Yeah, so it's down to you guys. There's one vote right now for Cade wants to wait until nighttime and then try to go into the forest, and Bargle wants to go up to town and ask them what's up. So those are the options presented currently.
Paul, do we have any reason to doubt what they would say?
Yeah.
It's obviously up to no good.
I'm honestly fine with either one. I'll digress to whatever.
All right, Anna, you're the tiebreaker.
I say we go now.
All right. Well, darn it. Think it's a good plan. We're sneaking around tonight. Yeah, we're heading downtown.
Where's Kira's collar?
Oh, there was one other thing about the villagers who went and retrieved. They also had a contingent. Looks like they might have been worried about something when they went in, which is kind of weird for people that are just going in together.
People are all nervous, distressed, and they're not nervous because us, because we're not even there. Yeah.
All right, so we're going into the forest. Are we going to follow the same path that the villagers followed?
That's the way I want to do it. Wait, it's up to everybody else.
Yeah, no, Bargle's vote won, so we're doing what he wanted.
All right, so we follow the same path as the villagers. Get everybody. All right, so we're approaching an area, and we can see that there are some tables set up. And but the tables are empty at the moment. So in this little clearing right here. And as we approach what appeared to be just normal bushes actually spring to life and attack us.
Hold on now. Cade will be walking in the back.
You can arrange yourself how you do.
Okay. Can I take this spot and have Victor take this spot? He's the big guy with the sword and shield.
Yeah, I'm 5'8".
I mean, you got a sword and a shield, man. Grasp with people.
I got a quarterstaff and shield.
I see.
We will go into initiative at that point. See how we do against these little big lights.
It seems like we're in a thorny situation.
You need to make sure you have your token selected in initiative.
What are these things? What do they look like?
Right.
Living bushes is what I'm understanding.
Yeah. So what happens is what looked like just sort of bushes, a little wilted, they spring to life. And it turns out they have some nasty thorny and are moving towards us. So Sage, you are up first.
All right, I will go ahead and I will take a step back. To about here, and I will go ahead and take a shot at this guy with my longbow.
Okay.
Does a 25 hit?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
If you go onto your character sheet, there is an option to turn automatic damage, and that helps things a little. Victor's turn.
I'm going to step up and hit this one. I think that will.
That will hit, yes. All right, that one goes down. And I'm not sure what. Oh, and then the butt, you're hitting the other one with the butt, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right. Well, this one, seeing the real threat, is going to rush down and attack Sage.
Holy crap, the bushes are attacking you!
Armor class 20 for 4 points of slashing damage, and then a Constitution saving throw or be poisoned.
That was on me.
No, it's on Sage.
Oh.
So Sage is poisoned at the moment. And it is Nephros' turn.
Nephros is going to target the one that has not moved. Probably gonna miss.
That will miss, yeah.
And then I'm gonna move back here.
Okay, Tala's turn.
Okay, I am also going to target the one that hasn't moved.
Okay.
And with my natural explorer, I get advantage on attack because he hasn't acted yet.
Okay.
Where are you going?
So I'm just going to try to shoot him with my longbow.
Are you going to be out in your Sonic? Sanic?
Alright, so that
Danky
one is
King.
going to go down.
Okay.
And
Yeah. Danky King.
it will be Cade's turn.
All right, Cade's gonna ride over here, and he's gonna try to get a good position to fire his crossbow at that sucker.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It is the first day that I've fallen asleep.
And that's going to take it from the last one. Very well done.
ultimate
And
breakfast
then you will get
burrito,
unpoisoned.
meat and
You,
cheese.
you attempt that same.
Tots.
Right. So you'll be unpoisoned in a couple.
Could Cade try to assist him by,
Do a cherry
seeing what's wrong with him?
Yeah, they just had poison claws.
Let me double check something.
Like I said, it seems fine.
Yeah, but he's going to be fine after a few seconds, a couple of rounds. He'll recover. All right, so good job, but very effective there. All right, so the descriptions of the berrywood as an idyllic berry-filled woodland is clearly not correct. This is all difficult terrain, right? So there's a clear path. Right, so there's a table here, and you can see the tracks where the villagers came in and the baskets. And then there are different sets of tracks leading deeper into the berrywood.
Would it be possible to identify what kind of tracks these are?
You might give me a survival check.
So yeah, the ultimate meat and
massive
cheese
snip
breakfast
at it.
burrito, the tots,
Okay.
Route 44,
So
cherry limeade.
they are humanoid, but they are heavier than humans. They would be
We'll just stick it to
something,
that.
some sort of a
Thank
bipedal
you.
creature that is
I'm now on 2 D&D
very
nights a
heavy,
week.
like an orc or something like
This
like that.
character is a lawful evil sorcerer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anybody have proficiency in Arcana or Nature?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you can make
I have
one of
proficiency
the.
in nature.
Okay, make both of those checks for me.
Haha! Grand total of a 5.
There are
If I'm
plants around.
proficient also, can I make a check?
Yeah.
That's much better.
I mean, I can, but you're gonna laugh when you see the modifier.
Nah, you're not proficient, I don't think.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, so Sage, this jungle effect is not a natural phenomena. That there is something that has enhanced the growth of these plants beyond what they would normally be. Made them much thicker, but yeah.
Got it.
Why are you staring at those bushes for?
They just attack.
Well, it would seem whatever caused this, it's not natural. Something obviously more sinister is causing this.
They look like bushes to me.
That's the
well-
first time rose bush ever bit me.
Yeah, I'm not sure where you've come from, but bushes don't normally up and attack passersby.
These are obviously cursed forests. Come on now, guys. I've never seen a cursed forest before. What's wrong with these people?
I guess we gotta go deeper.
Yeah, there's tracks this way.
All right, following the tracks. All right, so there's no cheerful noise in the berry. There's no chirping, no critters are chattering. There's only a handful of distant squawks and caterwauls. But suddenly, the screeches grow in intensity as clouds of ravens descend upon us. Let's see, there are 5 of us, right?
Yep.
And sadly, Kate is in front this time.
Yeah, and they seem to be focusing on Nephros. Right, so is there anything that would keep? Well, okay. So what is Nephros' passive perception?
14.
Okay, so these will be attacking with disadvantage. So 7, I'm assuming is going to, and that's going to miss.
When we
that
see
one
that, and
with
we light a
disadvantage,
torch.
right?
Yeah, they attack with disadvantage, so
Okay,
that'll
so miss.
Right, and then what about Cade? Does Cade have any? What is his passive perception?
His passive perception would be 12, and also I have the dog who, if he could smell or hear them, would have advantage on percepting them.
I don't think the dog would be able to warn you against these guys. He might start barking, but it would be too late. But I think 12, at 5 is going to miss anyway. So these swarms of ravens attack us, and then immediately go dissipate and fly away. Looks like something has inspired them to congeal into swarm, but that it's not a persistent effect. Want to continue on, or have we just?
Kate's gonna light a torch to bat things with, particularly ravens.
So lighting is a good point. There is no direct sunlight, but there is plenty of light that filters through the canopy. So
dim lighting.
Yeah, dim lighting everywhere. Yeah, is the effect.
If we got a rogue in the party, go to town.
Yeah, if you got a rogue in the party, it would be a really good environment. All right, so the path curves up ahead, but you can overhear conversations, and they are in Draconic.
Ooh,
does anyone speak
yes.
Draconic?
I do.
Oh, everybody does. All right. So it sounds like there is someone up ahead who are playing some sort of a game, because every now and then they will have like, that's the number I'm looking for, and then there will be a pause, and then someone else will. So it sounds like around the bend up there is some sort of group speaking Draconic that is pursuing some sort of game. They seem excited by it.
So I just hear exciting shouting in Draconic occasionally.
Yeah, but
That's right.
Nephros will communicate to you what's going on.
Oh, okay, I was gonna be like, I had some funny fun, but all right.
However, on that note, I am going to actually go forward, intrigued by what's going on.
I would like to stealth while he's doing that.
I'm gonna have to follow him because I don't think he should go by stealth, but I can speak Draconic.
I'll follow a little bit behind them and try to be quiet and stealthy.
Cade and everyone, I assume Sage, are going to be staying like behind them, but not like so far forward that they would be like close, you know? They'd be staying like within sight of them, but not within at like the farthest distance they could, like 30 feet back.
Like a move behind, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. And then Nephros is going to stride right up, is that right?
That's correct. Intrigued enough in that there is something speaking Draconic, which goes along his research path. He's going to actually move forward and find out what is making that, what's talking in Draconic, rather.
All right, so you go, once you come into vision, what you see 5 green dragonborn. All right, so typically the dragonborn that you do see in Dimgaard have softer features so that they can blend in, right? But these guys, they are harsh dragon. They are clearly dragonborn. They have the full-on snouts and recessed ears, the whole 9 yards. They wear chain shirts. Each one of them has a shield and a sword. A spear nearby. And yeah, they are rolling dice around them.
Awesome. So, probably against the better judgment of the whole party, my character's going to step forward. Brethren, I've come to partake in your knowledge. I seek further details on dragon and dragonkind. Would you be willing to share your info?
Right.
I'm gonna knock an arrow and just have it at the ready in case anything goes south.
His arms are outspread, by the way, in a peaceful way.
Is Nephros a dragonborn?
No, he is not, but he is a tiefling with crimson scales on him, so he has that draconic appearance.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, they here are not going. They know a dragon when they see a dragonborn.
Well,
But
I can roll a persuasion check if you want me to.
What are you trying to persuade them to do?
Share knowledge on dragons and dragonkind?
So yeah,
Some
so
of his
they-
good intentions as a not crazed murderer.
Otho has brought us here to establish this forest as a home for green dragonborn. We are taking over this forest. We've already begun the process. This is ours now.
That's wonderful. Would I be able to speak to this Ortho?
I don't. He is in the enclave at the moment. He won't be back for several days. He was taking news of his success to one of the communities to the north so that they can relocate here and join us, increase our numbers.
I see. So would it be possible to gain an audience with Ortho, or do you think that wouldn't be possible?
I don't see why not. Yeah, Ortho. I mean, he is the one in charge of this. He's the one who negotiated the agreement with Sir Hamdis. I mean, I don't see why you couldn't speak with him when he returns.
Excellent. And what's this game you're playing? It sounds intriguing.
We're just seeing. We roll 3 dice and see who gets the highest number. Whoever gets the highest number wins the pot.
Oh, I see. Might I be able to join you?
What do you have to gamble with?
I only have 10 gold. Outside of that, I just have some traveling supplies is all, and a couple research books.
I can forge them anything. Or
You can. What? I'm sorry. You're really quiet, Bartle. We can barely hear you, or at least I can barely hear you.
I can forge
them up.
Not like metal forging kit. Never mind, I don't have the kit. Sorry.
Oh.
You're proficient in it, though.
Yeah.
Right. So I think probably we need to get you guys into camp so that you can wait for Ortho to return. But of course, we're not going to expose you to the camp with all those weapons. You'll have to disarm.
I wouldn't. I don't mind giving you my bladed weapon, my dagger. I just have this quarterstaff to help me travel. That's it. If you want to take it though, that's perfectly fine. Other than that, that's really all I've got.
Well, I mean, we could also come back later.
Look, I
don't think we're going to be able to do that, right? This is kind of a secret that we have to protect at the moment. I think we're pretty committed now to waiting and having you meet Ortho.
Would he notice that they had any ill intent? Would they be up to anything fishy, or do they seem like they're nice people?
What do you mean?
Do they seem like they're evil, like they're bad people, like they're gonna stab us in the night or something like that? Or they seem like they're genuinely they're not just trying to watch their backs and they don't want to kill us?
It seems like they genuinely want to protect their secret, and that they are not sure what to do other than keep you going out and telling everyone that a dragon has taken root in Hollywood.
Can I insight their alignment?
Well, green dragon cults are known to be evil. I mean, alignment doesn't really mean anything, right? Anyone can rationalize any alignment for any action.
It don't mean anything to me. I don't care about
So,
it.
Could we have 1 second? I wanna do it. We wanna do it like a huddle.
I want to go.
Oh yeah, they're not going to keep you from conferring with each other.
So we're gonna do a secret huddle. Like the dog's gonna be. He's still riding the dog as he does the secret huddle. By the way, I think we should try to kill him and book it. They're definitely evil.
I don't agree with that. This seems to be one of the only methods we're gonna have to get any specific details. We're here to find further info on behalf of the Vardatis family. I think it's in our best interest to go through with those details if we can.
Listen, man. If we cut it here, we run, we book it, and we get out of here. And what'll happen is we'll get the information of where the Green Dragon's at, what happened to them. We'll have all the information to collect our 50 gold. That's what we were asked to do. We weren't asked to, like, confer with them and speak on their behalf.
Well, no, I mean, if you feel like you want to try to go through that, I won't stop you. I'm willing to stay and gather some more information. It's gonna help my research.
I think I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. I kind of them later and hopefully get paid for them too, because they're kind of green and they're kind of like dragons. Much. Oh, but yeah, back to my point. I think that's the best route. I don't think we should go up and kill them. Not kill them yet.
I think we should just book it,
only
kill them if we had to, but ideally we run away.
And how are we going to get to this Orthos guy?
We don't have to. That's not the job.
We don't know that.
It literally said we just need to get them information, not,
It might lead to, I mean, information on it's something bigger.
So, is the vote 2 votes for not booking it?
Sounds that way.
Morgan, Anna, please. I'm sorry, Sage. Nephros, please save me from this nightmare of getting disarmed and then killed.
No, I don't know, but I can't disarm because I got this bum leg, and this is my walking stick. It's nothing more. I'll drop the shield, the walking stick.
So are Morgan and Anna's characters both going to be
tiebreakers yet again? It seems.
I don't see why we need to kill them right now. If we can get more information,
evil,
Right.
could be worth more.
Kill him later.
Morgan?
Still get paid for it.
Yes, I agree. Just judging from what we've seen so far, I understand what their kind can be generally seen as being, but they've been nothing but cordial and friendly with us so far. I don't think I could bring myself to kill them just because we might be right about them being evil just because other Dragonborn are evil. I just feel like
85% sure they're evil.
I don't feel comfortable yet. I can't do that without having a logical reason.
Oh, they're evil. I don't think we need to kill them yet. We need to let that be later.
Also, does this work better?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you. I also have a circular token as the thing right now.
Yeah, but a Mastiff isn't large, though.
Mastiff is medium and halflings are small.
Yeah. So, but your token shouldn't be large.
No, I didn't make the token like that.
Oh, okay.
It just
Oh,
they just pop out like that. If you go and look, I have a circular one. If you prefer a circular over square.
Oh, that's fine. No, that's fine.
Okay.
So, are we going to disarm and go into the camp with these guards?
I can't give up my walking stick, but I'll disarm this. You can take the shield. What am I going to do with the shield?
That's fine.
I was gonna add. Oh, go ahead.
Before we go in, I'm willing to give up my bow and my quiver and one dagger. Can I maybe do a sleight of hand check to see if I can maybe slide the other dagger around and put it like in the back of my pants?
That sounds pretty good.
Sneaky
Can a
deaky.
halfling conceal a short sword?
I don't know.
I was going to ask, just with trying to be stealthy and whatnot, like, where are they at? Do they see us all talking? Because I know we stood back and he came back to talk to us. Have they seen all of us?
Yeah, they're like 10 feet away.
Oh, okay. Well, dang it.
Well, we were whispering. We were in the huddle. Like we said, can we have a moment to huddle?
Also, are you doing all right? You want a couple berries? Good berries, man.
Yeah, let's give them all our good berries.
No, give them our good
I'm
berries.
gonna go ahead and what's it called? I'll eat mine.
Yeah, Kate, you would need a weapon small enough to conceal. You would be able to hide it.
So they don't have a
Well,
I got a hand axe.
I mean,
we might as well punch him if I get a hand axe.
I mean, you can hide the short sword in a halfling.
Yeah, I don't see a short sword being. You need like a dagger.
Alright, looks like Cade's disarming unless someone gives him a dagger.
What about a hand axe?
It wouldn't work. Hand axes are about the size of the short sword.
Right.
So.
My question is, I agree with like both sides where we could stay and see more information, but at the same time, we just needed to get information. Why don't we just leave and not kill them?
If we try to leave, they're going to definitely take up arms. They've already made it stated enough that we don't get to leave at this point.
Right.
Fortitude, Sage. We lost. It's okay.
Oh,
We'll just
okay.
die a terrible death. It's fine.
Oh.
That's how adventuring parties work, didn't you know?
I will say, I do not feel comfortable disarming completely and walking into a situation like this. All I meant earlier when I said I didn't feel comfortable killing someone, well, I feel like that's a totally different scale, but disarming myself completely and trusting strangers, that I don't think I could do.
Well, the alternative would be for them to stand guard with you. They're not going to let you just freely roam their camp with the vulnerable cult members and youngsters, with you carrying weapons that can kill them in a single strike.
Right, and I guess that's where I was just wondering, why are we staying again?
Because they said
Talk
we
to
have to.
Ortho.
Okay.
Sorry, for a chance to talk to Ortho. To get more details.
Ortho.
And possibly rake in more cash.
Alright, then I'll go ahead and just suck it up then, and I'll disarm.
Yeah, Cade has agreed to disarm after everyone's on the same page. Reluctantly.
Alright, so
After trying to shove
no
a
one-
sword in his pants.
I still got my walking stick here.
Alright, so they then, if no one has a visual, then where you are free to interact. There are a bunch of commoners here, and by a bunch I mean there are about a dozen, and these are not like the Dragonborn that you normally see. They are very obvious Dragonborn. They would not be able to disguise themselves and leave them human. And are you going to interact with them, or are you going to? I mean, what is your disposition towards them?
It worked for. No, Victor's gonna be friendly and Maybe we won't get killed.
Do they like dogs?
Not for breakfast.
Come on, dogs are cool. Okay.
Nephros is actually going to go around and basically just gather information, if you will, about their culture and where they come from. Basically, just like some historical details.
Okay, so amongst dragonkind, there are two. One is to if you have soft enough features, you can disguise yourself and live amongst a larger community. Right. The other one is, and this is what these guys fall into, is to try to find some remote location where you can basically remain hidden and avoid contact with those who might report you to the Inquisition or the Fultons, or just the One True Faith in general. And so that is, they had been living in a fairly miserable existence in a forest about 50 miles to the west on the border of the Farwood, but it was not a very hospitable area. And Ortho is their leader. He had been searching for a better terrain, and he found the Berrywood, and they have relocated here, and they now have access to plant growth so that they can dramatically increase the productivity of the natural food in the Berrywood. That's the reason. So they can actually supply Sir Hamdus with the same amount of food he was getting prior to them coming here a few weeks ago, and still have enough to sustain themselves with plant growth. And it also has the secondary benefit that it makes the Berrywood very inhospitable, so that they will be able to hide here. And that is their goal, is to establish this as a secure enclave where all green dragonborn can come, and once that they have assembled and are secure, they can maybe establish some sort of a green dragonborn homeland in the service of Tiamat.
All right.
Would they like advice that Cade would provide about setting up alarms and traps? Not lethal alarms and traps, mind you, just like stuff that makes a lot of noise when someone steps on it.
Well, they have traps in place, but they can always use more traps.
To be delivering his berries is getting enough. His delivery.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
All right. Thing was, they wasn't getting their regular delivery anymore, right?
Right. So it took them several days to get plant growth in place to the point where they can sustain themselves and still offer a tribute to Sir Hamdus, right? But that has now been in place for the 3 or 4 days, and Sir Hamdus seems very happy. So Sir Hamdus is able to get the same amount of product from the Berrywood as he used to get by sending his own peasants in, but they just deliver it to that table each day at noon, and then he just sends his peasants in to pick it up. So he is now able to reallocate his peasants to other things and still get the same amount of sustenance from the Berrywood.
Okay, so it's basically a mutually beneficial symbiotic relationship between the two races, if you will.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Cade would help them if they were into it, helping them set up traps that would make noise when someone approached their camp or like went towards the pass on towards their camp, in the both the bushes and the stuff. But he'd also be at night trying to mark down where he'd put all these things.
I would need to find out why the other forest was inhospitable.
Well, because it was just a jungle. It didn't have the type of
All right, so they didn't
trees.
get run out of it or anything.
No, in fact, this enclave is many generations old, and they had lived there safely, but just not comfortably. All right, so there are some things. All right, so someone had a 14 passive insight, right?
Yes.
Right, so there are some grumblings that can be discerned. In particular, it seems like more than half of these guys, when they talk about the bounty of the berrywood, they seem dissatisfied.
Do they make any grumblings that would indicate why they're dissatisfied?
You could ask about that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I will do that.
I'm not getting paid for it. I'll keep an
Yeah.
eye on it,
So
though.
about half of them are insistent that Dragonborn are meat eaters. That this vegan diet that they're now on is contrary to the way they were created and the message from Tiamat of the way that they are intended to live their life. They're not intended to be recluses who live off of fruits and nuts. They're supposed to be meat eaters who go out and hunt and take prey and cook it over a fire and eat it, not gather it from some bush.
Have you witnessed them eating since they've been around?
No, since they have entered, there's no sign here of any sort of meat in their camp.
See the problem, because you can't just. If we just thought of that about every Dragonborn we've seen, things would get pretty ugly. I've seen them before. These guys look a little different, but you know, I think everybody deserves at least one chance. That they haven't hurt anybody, right?
Not convinced. Says the guy who's been helping them set up in fortifications essentially for their camp.
Right.
I would just like to ask, so when we were first coming in, would I have noticed where they were taking all of our stuff that they confiscated from us?
Yeah, they're not locked up. They're just in one of these tents over here.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Is everyone in the camp Dragonborn?
Yes, green Dragonborn in particular.
Not
Okay.
anymore. There's us.
Yeah, good point. And there's a dog.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
Sorry,
alive.
bit of sarcasm.
Dogs alive.
I'd like to go up to
Everybody's
one and
been
ask them
nice.
in Draconic if they've heard anything about the baby dragons.
All right, so she is visibly baby dragon. She didn't know. She didn't think that anyone outside of their community knew anything about the baby dragon. You're not. No one is supposed to know about her. He's supposed to be a secret at this point.
Nephros is going to perk up to this conversation if he's close enough to hear it.
I don't think he would be. Hannah or Tala was deliberately being discreet, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Dragonborn commoner seems quite a bit distressed when you bring up the idea that you know about a baby dragon here.
Oh, there goes the neighborhood.
All right. I'm just gonna politely end the conversation and just kind of walk back to the group
Okay.
and maybe maybe just kind of tell them tell some of the group members her reaction when I asked about the baby dragon.
And as you do that, you will notice her. She's also sort of the other camp members of her own, and they are occasionally looking to you as well.
Well. All right.
How hot is that campfire?
It's a normal fire.
All right. I still have my quarterstaff, right?
I believe you still have your quarterstaff. Yeah.
Nephros is going to go to some of the Dragonborn that were grumbling about not being able to, I guess, follow Tiamat's teachings of eating meat, and kind of inquire as to if they think Ortho would be amenable to some kind of a deal of meat being delivered to their encampment.
Yeah. So a couple of them are like, well, yeah, any meat would be better, sure. This whole, yeah. I mean, so there is a hierarchy of food, and we have sustained ourselves off of good berries in very lean times, but they're bland and nourishing, but little else. And so, you know, fruits and vegetables, nuts, berries, those are a step up from that, but definitely meat is best. And then the meat you hunt yourself is the best of all. I mean, that would be ideal. Unfortunately, there's no game in the Berrywood. There's, you know, it's all been scared away, and the only thing left is a few like rangy, sort of a gamey rabbits and squirrels are the best we can find. But so yes, if we could acquire meat, that would be ideal. But the best of all worlds would be if we had hunting grounds that we could hunt our own.
I see. I will keep that in mind then, and if we get to speak to Ortho, I will let him know that I will keep that in mind. I would not mind the chance to come back and see how you all fare, and be able to talk with you more at length.
I'm still not convinced they're not able.
Well, and we would note that you know, halflings are noticeably tender, if that's what you're offering.
Well, I can't offer any of my companions here. Unfortunately, we travel as a band, and right now we're out trying to basically see the world, as it were. And it just so happened we were sent this direction.
Wants things to go.
Is this serious, by the way, that they would want to eat halflings, or is this like them poking fun at him because he's been like helping them set up traps and stuff for their village, while at the same time being like, I'm not convinced you guys aren't evil.
No, if he's offering the halfling as a possible feast, they absolutely would eat halfling. Yeah, halflings are just the right size for a.
So they'd seen evil, right, by the way, right? So if they seen the evil, he wouldn't be helping them stop crashing.
Pretty much, if they get sick and tired, sick enough, they would hunt a halfling down.
Yeah, so they don't see other humanoids as distinctly different than hunting a deer or prey is prey, right? Yeah. One.
Cade wouldn't help them at all then. He'd just be sort of keeping to himself, like guarding his dog.
Taking his traps back down.
No, you'd never put them up in the first place if they were like, yeah, we'll eat a halfling.
Right, but you've already been doing that for the past X amount of time.
So if they would have been like wanting to eat me or my dog, you wouldn't, like, I'd imagine at least. I mean, should we roll for insight and deception on this, or?
Well, it would be a matter of passive. Yeah, that's why I ask about people's passive insight.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you if there was a ball in front of me, my character.
But no, once Nephros, who looks like he might also enjoy a tasty halfling thigh, brings up the subject, then they would confide in Nephros about that, about their
I never
preference.
brought up a tasty halfling thigh.
Oh, who was it that was talking to them then?
No. I was talking to them, but I never brought up eating a halfling.
No, you brought up meat.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. No, I brought up meat and the idea of talking to Ortho about a potential deal of.
Well, they just presume that by meat you mean things that halflings would be included in that.
Fair enough,
Right.
and yeah.
Cheap halflings, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Right. I mean, my character at this point would have, through his research, enough information at this point to kind of have that inference, I would guess. So, yeah, no, I will keep any future information I gather as to meat sources available, and I will deliver those details to Ortho and try to make a deal with him.
Okay.
It seems like a beneficial thing on both ends. The only thing I would seek would be knowledge, and you guys would get the biggest reward of all. And if I can find a safe area for you where you can hunt, it seems like it's what you guys would prefer.
Yes, they would prefer to hunt, for sure.
Would you relay this information to the rest of the party?
Oh, I'm not making a secret of it, but I am speaking in Draconic. So.
I mean, if asked what you were talking about, what would you say?
Oh, yeah, no, I have no problem spreading that info if I'm asked.
Evil. We shouldn't. I told you they're evil. Gonna eat halflings. Gonna eat people. Don't train them on things.
Yeah, but
Just sleep in the woods, eat berries.
Dragonkind is such a misrepresented group.
Literally just said they're gonna eat people.
No. They're seeking.
Literally said they were, in fact, willing and wanting to eat people.
They're tired of living off of fruits and nuts. They're seeking an alternative, but
They don't want a ranch. They don't get to eat meat. That's how it works.
And that's why I've come up with, a potential agreement that if Ortho agrees to it, then, I'll keep my eyes open, my ears open, and find a outlet for them that they can utilize.
You don't understand. You teach them to hunt deer, they're gonna hunt people next. They don't see the difference. You gotta teach them the difference if you're gonna teach them to hunt deer.
They probably already know how to hunt. Yeah.
They literally didn't know how to set up a bell trap.
Well,
All you need is a
how
bow
many
and
of
arrow.
them are? And it's just us. There's a bunch of them. Why not let us walk right into the middle of the den? They think the odds are in their favor.
So,
Yeah,
Nephros.
That's something else that you would realize. So there were. You see, there are 3 paths, right? Or no, there's no path. But there are 3 groups of the same type of guards that you came in with that are positioned around the camp to protect the approaches into the clearing. They come in, we'll get some water, go back out, kind of move in and out over the course of the afternoon.
I believe
So
so.
they have 3 sets of pickets
Thank you.
around the camp where the
Yeah, where's
where
my
the
card?
main Dragonborn commoners are with you.
Don't drink and
Out of
drive. That's your
curiosity,
tip.
so since Case has been helping them with the whole trap thing, I can't retcon that. Would they let him go out and check into these traps
I think it's this one.
independently?
Check what crap?
Check the traps.
Awesome.
Yeah, the
Thank
traps that he helped them set up. Would they, have them like be able to go around independently and check the traps that are out in the woods?
He's looking at all your porn.
They're not going to let you out into the woods. I thought you were setting them up in camp.
Wow.
Okay. If he's not letting them go past the outlines of the camp, within sight.
Right. Yeah.
Then he wouldn't have bothered setting up any traps. So you can just see it. There's no point in setting up a noise trap.
Yeah. What is Cade's passive perception?
It is 12.
Okay. All right. So that. Anything else we want to do with the afternoon?
Nephros is going
for a
to...
chance to run away.
Oh, sorry. Nephros is just going to inquire as to where he can sit down and basically just write down, notes.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's any place in the camp would be fine. I was thinking more, is there anything else we want to know from the Green Dragon cultist?
I was gonna go up and ask one of the guards that you said was in one of the groups, and I was gonna walk up and just basically be like, "So, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm to understand this correctly, you have been using various methods in order to enhance the production of wildlife around here, plant growth and things like that, correct?"
Yes, that's correct.
Right, and you said you did this purely for subsistence, for food?
Not purely, right. So this was a kind of like it was a forest without a lot of ground foliage, right? And the ground foliage that was here when we arrived was food producing, like berry thickets, that sort of thing. And one of the reasons that we were able to relocate is because we now have the ability to cast plant growth. So that increases the food production enough to both sustain us and provide a tribute to Sir Hamdus. The secondary benefit is that it increases the thickness of the foliage content so that it will be a barrier to those who would try to enter it, who are not familiar with it.
Okay, and so far, have you noticed any other adverse effects maybe coming about with you trying to manipulate the natural foliage around here? Anything that would seek to harm you?
So yeah, the we don't know why, but yeah, the forest has taken on a sinister turn in the past several days. Yes, there does seem to be something that has provoked swarms and blighted creatures, the animated plants that have a hostile tenor to them, but nothing that we are not able to suppress.
Right. I merely ask just because, well, as you said, these things have taken on an evil nature, and not only would you have to live here, but there are other people nearby that also depend on this forest for getting their food and whatnot. And I'm just trying to understand what could have caused this negative turn and why these things would be happening. And I think that would benefit everyone if we were to figure that out. I'm not sure if that's something you could talk to Orthos about and we could potentially help you with.
Well, Orthos actually warned us when we relocated that this could be a byproduct of the magic that we were utilizing. So it wasn't, I mean, we hoped we could avoid it, but it's not unexpected. Yeah. We don't have a way to implement both the plant growth and avoid the corruption associated with bringing the magic into place. The two are linked.
Okay, so essentially this is just a sacrifice or a risk you're willing to take.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll turn around and head back over to the group.
Okay.
And yeah, let them know that like the cause of those plant creatures that attacked us, and that whatever they're doing, however they're tampering with everything with the plant growth, it's causing negative things, obviously, like we've seen, but that's the source of why this has been happening.
Evil.
Does anyone have any particular knowledge of dragons? Any chance? I don't know.
Yep.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I get a bonus to that.
Then you could make, I guess, history. Is that what it would rely upon? Maybe Arcana, whichever's best for you.
Well, I mean, history and Arcana are both intelligence, so they're both the same. In my case, I have both.
Okay.
So that'll be an 18 because I get to double my check for any dragon-based checks.
Right. So as the news starts to pour into of the phenomena that we are examining, like the extremely hostile undergrowth that is nearly impenetrable except through deliberate paths, and the formation of swarms, and the production of corrupted plants like blights, you would begin to recognize those as signs of a green dragon's lair, right? Like the regional effects of a green dragon's lair.
Oh, wonderful. I continue jotting down notes. That's magnificent.
Have there been any chances for Cade to run away
What
yet?
are you writing about over there?
What is it? Cade's wanting to run? Is that...
Yeah, he's been wanting to run for a while now. Ever since the whole halfling eating thing, he's been looking for a chance to escape.
So just out of curiosity, I'm not sure, I'm just asking. So with me having the sage background, but my character is interested in learning basically just anything about natural effects and things like that. Would I have started to perceive those same things about the whole green dragon lair, or do I need to roll?
I think that's reasonable to presume. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm writing this down for myself as well.
There ain't no way I can.
So Cade is wanting to vacate the premises
As soon as possible. As soon as he sees an opportunity, he's going to just bolt with a dog. No weapons.
Yeah, so I'm going to go over and just see if we can all get together. And like I said, I mean, obviously I told them everything about that happened. So now I'll just ask. So far what we know is they are coming here. They're trying to set up a home for themselves. Not inherently evil in nature, but the byproducts of what they're doing, they're encroaching upon they're encroaching upon the nearby people's forests, where they also hunt for food and try and get their provisions. Then you also have the magical effects and things that are coming about from their plant growth manipulation. And from what we've been able to tell, it's obvious that they're not satisfied by just eating plants. What's to stop them from turning on people who wander in here? So, I'm not sure if we really need to... Do we really need to wait and speak with this Orthos individual, or should we try and perhaps just take the information we know now and try to...
What, fight our way out?
I'm not sure. As of right now, they have no reason to think we're going to do anything. Could attempt to get our weapons and make a speedy exit.
I'm pretty sure when we try that.
Yeah, I was thinking upon the
I've been
lines
watching for a chance to get out of here for days.
perhaps a distraction.
He's twitching and stuff over there, so... Look, he's jumping now, see? He's itching to get out. If there's a way, he done found it.
Well, we saw where they took our weapons. If we were to make a distraction or some sort, could attempt to try and grab them. And yeah, I'm just saying as an option, or we can wait for Orthos. I don't really know.
Evil, don't wait for him. Get out of here now.
I'm at this point probably fairly invested in waiting for Orthos, just simply because there's very, very clear influence of either a green dragon or another dragon of some type. But with the surrounding area indicating as such that there is more potential for a green dragon, that kind of gives me...
That just tells me more gold.
Yeah.
That's kind of a thing. You throw gold, I'll do it.
So, as the afternoon progresses, right, so some of the commoners are setting up the presentation for dinner, right? They start breaking out the nuts and berries, and it is noticeable that several of them are unhappy about that. Like they are talking quietly among themselves, on the verge of being highly agitated, looking
about how many of them are there around?
So, out of curiosity, whenever they start preparing for dinner, how many people are at each of the exits?
How many what? I'm sorry?
How many guards are at each of the exits?
There are no guards in camp. Yeah, since you disarmed, the guards didn't stay in camp with. They're posted around the camp, but there are 11. Right, so there are a couple of dozen total Dragonborn in camp, but only 11 of them look like they are old enough and strong enough to be any sort of a physical threat. The others are just.
I'm asking at the paths out of the camp. Would there be any guards posted at them, and if so, how many at each of them?
You can tell from the movement of the guards in and out that each one of the pickets has 5 guards posted there.
And how wide are the paths?
Oh, they vary from just a couple of feet wide to up as much as 10 feet wide.
Which one's the widest?
They are all kind of the same. Like this is what the paths looks like. Right?
Okay. Whenever they start preparing for dinner, Cade's just gonna try to book it. He's gonna try to book it on his dog and get out of there.
I'm gonna pull some jerky out from my rack and offer him some jerky.
So when Cade starts taking off, you hear they start yelling. Right? They start sounding an alarm. They're shouting into Chronic. He's going to rat us out. The halfling is running. So what does everybody else want to do at that point?
Nephros just calmly remains where he's at and watches what happens.
Once they sound the alarm, does anyone else do anything? Or
That's what I'm asking. So I know that Nephros is standing there.
Which direction did he run?
I don't know which way. It's up to you. It's going to be the same.
I just want to yell out
exit. That's far though that we came in from.
Okay, that would be to the west then. So he takes off through the path to the west.
I'm gonna get back here. Calm down.
Well, while everybody else is looking at him and since what I can tell, there's no guards in here. I'm gonna attempt to just try and like stealth and like try and just lose sight and like get in between the tents over here. Make my way basically up to where our weapons are being held.
Yeah, you're a move away from your weapon. If you wanted to move up and get your weapons, you could.
Yeah, I'm basically just trying to do it. I just don't want people to be watching me, you know, clearly walking in here getting my weapon.
Yeah. There is no way for you to go to that tent without being noticed. I mean, they're going to see you get your weapons. That's perfectly valid for you to do. But there's 11 of them around the camp.
I'm just going to go grab my bow out of here, and I'm going to make my way over actually towards the foliage. But you tell me wherever I need to stop, however much time I have in all of this happening.
Right. Now, whenever Sage goes to get his weapon, so let me scatter these guys around camp. Put like here. Guys are over here. All right. So we go into initiative at that point.
Can I go first? As I had the, like the what do you call it? Run. I booked it as the initiation of combat.
Well, that's why you get to the edge, right?
I mean, would they start shooting at me whenever I reach the edge of the camp? Would they say I was booking it?
Yeah, as soon as you hop on that riding dog and start taking off, they immediately know that they have to do something to stop you.
I would have been riding around the dog 100% of the time, like
yeah. So
from the get go. So
you can get to the edge of the camp.
Okay, so I'm at the edge of the camp.
Simple initiative, but you're not going to say, "Oh no, I am 200 feet."
So I take 1 foot. I take a 1 foot step into there, and they're like, "He's getting away."
No, you started here, and you.
Why would I start booking it whenever I was at the center of the camp?
So you are here, and you said, well, okay, so then you say, I'm going to meander, and then they say, hey, that guy is making a break for it. We've got to stop him. You're not going to get out of the camp where they can do anything. They see you.
So they see me They see me, like, not even leave the breadth of the camp, and they start attacking me.
That's right.
So they're 100% evil, just saying.
That's right. They are there to watch you and make sure that you don't go spread a warning. And as soon as they suspect that, they're going to try to stop you.
Can I like roll stealth or something, or is it just like they are eagle-eyed wizards?
There is no opportunity for stealth here. There are a dozen dragon boys standing around watching. Their job is to make sure that you don't leave camp. And it's not just a casual job, right? Their lives depend upon it. Right? It's not like, well, if we fail,
there's zero possibility that 12 people are not coordinated enough to make it any progress on them. All right, these are some well-trained commoners. I'm just saying.
Yes, these are people who have lived their entire lives dedicated to hiding themselves from people just like you, and they are not going to take the chance that you are going to escape and not just kill them, but their kids, right? Their children are with them. And the idea that, oh no, I am somehow supernaturally able to have these 11 people around me watching me, so I'm saying you
people escape from prisons with trained guards. These are just,
right. And
people.
I'm saying you can get to the edge of the camp, but that's putting us into initiative. You're not going to be, I'm 200 feet into the forest before they realize something is wrong. So you can get to the edge of camp. I am all right with that. But you're not going to say, oh, no, I've been gone for 30 seconds before they know what's going on. That's just not going to happen. No, it is a difficult terrain. you're not going to. You can get to the edges.
So
of the
we've been
camp,
here for a whole afternoon, and they've had at least someone keeping an eye on me 100% of the time. The entire time.
Someone.
They've had eyes on 5 people 100% of the time for the whole afternoon.
That's
Pretty much,
correct. Yes. The guards deposited them and said, "These guys want to talk to Ortho. We can't let them leave, or we're all going to die." And they said, "Oh, well, that seems like an important thing to us. We're going to make sure that they don't leave because we don't want ourselves to die, and we certainly don't want." Yeah.
All right.
Yep. All good. So we're in initiative.
Yeah. Let me get them in there. Sage is first. So the halfling makes a break for it. All the dragonborn say, "We've got to stop him." What is Sage going to do? You have your weapons right there by you.
Okay. Basically, I'm just going to what's it called? So I think I just misunderstood when I was saying what I was doing when that happened. So effectively, they're all yelling like, "Oh, we gotta stop him." In that case, I'm not gonna grab my weapon. I'm just gonna do what Nephros was doing. Actually, I'm just gonna stay and just chill out. Sorry, I misunderstood what was happening earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna freak out or start running or doing anything. I'm just gonna.
Okay. Nephros is just hanging around. Is that right?
No, I sent you a message actually.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it. Okay, so Nephros cast a spell. So I need some hit dice there.
Alrighty. So 12.
Okay. Okay. And let's see. I think probably this guy would go to sleep.
So I'm putting it in a range that it doesn't influence anyone else other than who I specified.
I don't think you can do that.
It's a 20-foot omnidirectional sphere, kind of.
Oh yeah, I guess you could. I guess you could place it right there. All right. So
my goal is just the singular person.
how many hit points does Cade's mount have?
5.
Right. So your dog falls asleep.
All right. Now, I'm just saying. So, okay, we'll go ahead. We'll wait until my turn, and I'll say something.
Talking is free.
No, I'll wait until my turn. It's fine because I want to say them out of character about like the scenario.
Okay. Well, this guy is going to move in. See, I need to mark. Right. So I need a Constitution saving throw. The Mount and Nephros. And Cade. So 8 points of poison damage if you succeed on a DC-10 Constitution saving. And
Wait,
that
I
will
get
wake
8
your
even if I
dog.
succeed?
No, it's 8 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah. So your dog wakes up, having taken damage, and it is Tala's turn. So Cade starts for the cover. His dog falls asleep for just a second. This dragonborn moves up, breathes a cone of poison on him, and now it's your turn.
Out of character, did my sleight of hand 13 roll let me hide a dagger?
It did, yes.
Okay. Then I'm not going to do anything either.
Okay. This one will provoke from that first.
Negative. Any and all movements in or through my squares, rather, that involve any of the Dragonborn, I'm not taking any attacks of opportunity or any unless they directly impact me.
Okay, so this one's going to move up and breathe on Kate as well. So I need another Constitution saving throw. Which is going to, I think, render your dog unconscious, right?
Yep.
And then for Cade, though, Cade needs a DC 10 Constitution save. Right. Where's this guy? There he is. This one is going to provoke from Sage as it dashes by.
Am I able to say the same thing? I'm not trying to attack anyone.
Yeah, you don't have to take an attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
Just, this one will provoke from Talia as it comes dashing by to try and cut. If Talia wants to take an attack of opportunity.
I do not.
Okay. This one will rush over here. It'll be Victor's turn. What will Victor do? Morgan?
I'm not Victor.
No, it'd be Bargle.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bargle.
Sorry, I didn't realize I had my mic muted. Nothing. I'm not going to do anything.
Okay.
I'm just going to... if I have to.
Kate, are you in initiative?
I am, in fact, in initiative.
Yeah, you are. Let's see. You just rolled low. Okay. Yeah. Goes racing over there. No, he's got a dash as well. Okay, this one's going to move up and breathe. Is daily. So 9 or poison damage.
Okay, so I can't. There's nothing I can do now. I'm unconscious. So I'd like to point out something, right?
Oh, okay.
Before I take one step out of this camp, I am literally surrounded. So this is whenever I start my action in this combat. So before I take one step out of this camp, I have been literally surrounded and had poison breathe on me 6 times. So like they have basically just ambushed me and tried to murder me, and that's what happened in the context of this RP. Like that's not how, like they saw me take one step towards the edge of the camp, and without checking for insight, without even so they didn't consider whether or not I was doing anything bad. They're just like, he's towards the edge of the camp we're gonna murder him right now. That's basically what happened, right? My understanding of it. So the party sees me get literally murdered wholehearted without me doing anything. Because right now, right, I haven't taken one step out of camp. The party sees me get literally murdered and they do nothing. So,
right.
Just saying, literally murder. Not only did they not do anything, they helped them murder me.
Well,
so That's like the dumbest team fight, and dumbest encounter I've ever been in. So he literally showed up, said he's getting away while I was still standing in camp, and murdered me. So I mean, are these guys all chaotic evil? Right? That's what I'm understanding. They're all chaotic evil, and they all decided uniformly, without coordinating whatsoever, with no chance of me ever detecting their plan to murder me. Right? So there's no chance of detecting their plan to murder me. Yeah, they totally did, because I didn't step a foot out of camp before they all killed me.
Well, no. First of all, you're unconscious. Right?
Yeah, I'm just saying. They're literally surrounded by them before I could take 1 foot out of camp. So obviously they did this before I got out of camp, is what I'm saying. I didn't get to take 1 step out of camp. I'm like towards the edge of camp, and they all surrounded me and killed me. Like, this would be when Cade starts to make a break for it. Because that's my turn. I didn't do anything yet, and I'm already down. So they surrounded me, murdered me, and Nephros helped them kill me. So, I mean, Nephros, are you chaotic evil? What's your alignment, Nephros? Are you chaotic evil? Because, like,
so at this point, you're unconscious.
Murdered someone wholehearted.
No, I tried to put you to sleep.
So you see, wait. So let me point this out to you, right? So what's your alignment, first off?
Technically, I don't have to answer that question.
Okay, so anyways, if you're anything but chaotic evil, you saw someone, and the first thing you saw someone, you see your teammate, right? A person you've been traveling with for at least a day now, right? It's been at least 24 hours since we left the town. So you see this person, and you're like, you know what I'm gonna do? I see that he's stepped towards the edge of camp, and he hasn't moved yet. I'm gonna put his mount to sleep so they can kill him. So I mean, that's a chaotic evil action. That's just like, you know, I'm gonna do this because I felt like it, because it seemed like it would be funny to kill somebody. Because like, you don't know if they're not gonna kill me. Poison breath for one, right? It's not, you know, I'm making death saves right now, basically. So my turn, I'm making a death save. Because you can't non-lethal poison breath. That's not how that works. That's not how that ability works. Unless they have special magic poison breath, it's a death save.
So to be fair, though, you are what you did was against the law that they placed, that we don't go anywhere towards the outskirts of the camp.
I literally haven't made it past the edge of the camp.
Right.
And they surrounded me and murdered me.
Right. All I did was cast sleep to try to put you and your dog to sleep.
After they were already attempting to kill me. So you literally assisted them in killing me. So I'm making death saves right now. Are any of them going to help me? Are any of them going to try to assist me from dying? Because if they do, right, that rules is written, right? If we're doing bullshit, rules is written.
Shut up.
They have to pass a medicine check to stabilize me, and only one person can try to stabilize someone at once. So go ahead. So it's next turn, right? One of them tries to stabilize me. If they try to stabilize me, if they don't, I'm making death saves and I'm dead.
Right. So one of the Dragonborn steps up, uses a healer's kit to stabilize you.
They don't have fucking healer's kits. They're commoners.
Yeah, they have healer's kit. Yeah, anyone can use a healer's kit.
How did they get this healer's kit? Let me tell you. If they've lived in isolation and never encountered people before, how did they get this healer's kit? How did they find it?
The healer's kit is not hard to find. Yeah, they're very common. Right, they've been a part of almost every culture since civilization has begun. So
it's not how the hero's kit is defined in the rules, but sure, we'll go with it. we'll homebrew your hero's kit and say the commoners have a healer's kit and have medical training.
You don't need medical training. Anyone can use a healer's kit in unconscious character.
Whatever. All right. So I have one failed death save, and the hero's kit me. I'm back up on a tree. All right. I'm gonna run away. I'm gonna run away. Provoke an act out. I'm gonna run away the moment I get back up, because you said he ran up and healed me. So I'm gonna run away the moment I get back up. I'm gonna start booking it. Okay. So roll for initiative.
A healer's kit does not bring you to consciousness.
Okay, so he's not healing me. He's stabilizing me. Okay.
Yeah, he's stabilizing you with.
That's two different things. Two different things.
No.
So I have one HP if he healed me with a healer's kit. If he stabilized me with a healer's kit, that's different.
No, I think you're confusing the healer feat with using.
No, healer's feat gives you like your medicine plus the healer's kit plus like your hit dice. I think that's different. Like the healer's kit, just used normally, gives you 1 HP and it brings you back up basically.
No, that is not correct. A healer's kit.
Whatever. Your homebrew healer's kit doesn't do that. It's fine.
You're out.
So he stabilizes. He doesn't heal. He stabilizes. The healer's kit has 2 functions. You can stabilize or heal with it. If you're healing with it, you bring him 1 HP.
There you go. So you can spend 1 charge of a kit to stabilize a creature that has 0 hit points without a wisdom medical set. That is what a healer's kit does. You are confusing the healer feat whenever you have the healer feat, when you do that, then you bring them to 1 hit point as well. Right, but that is not something inherent into a healer's
so I'm
kit.
stabilized. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, so you'll be unconscious for 1d4 hours unless someone does something else about it.
All right, 4 hours.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna withhold my. Whenever I wake up, I immediately start running.
Well,
until I die.
Right. So,
do they have like manacles around here? If they have fucking manacles without a blacksmith, I'm gonna laugh.
No, they don't have manacles, but it does solve the problem that they were complaining about. And as they were preparing dinner, they did not like the fact that that they were going to have another meal, vegetarian meal, when there was perfect meat just milling around.
Just saying. So the party literally sees them try to eat. So they're preparing me for dinner right now, right? They're gonna eat me. And the party sees me standing by the edge of the fucking camp. I haven't actually left the camp yet, and they all say, he's running away while I'm still standing there, and kill me. And then they're saying they're gonna eat me. If the party doesn't do anything, I'm gonna be pissed. Like, that's dumb. That's the dumbest thing ever. You're literally all chaotic evil and have no sense of self-preservation if that happens. And you're not. That's the dumbest thing ever.
Okay, I'm not saying I disagree with you, right? But I'm saying those are not my choices, right? But
it's your choice as the DM to not have them start initiative before the guy. Because how the context of this RP right now is that they premeditated murdered me. They surrounded me and murdered me. That's what happened. And not only they surround me and murder me, but I was so dumb that I let them surround me whenever I was saying that I was going to run away or something like that.
Right.
Like, I literally low-rolled the perception check that didn't exist that they were planning to murder me. So you skipped the perception check I got on that. You skipped the insight check. You said I literally passed an insight check that said they're not planning to murder me. I did 2 insight checks, and you said twice that they weren't planning to murder me. What's the DC on that insight check that I failed?
Is it fucking
25 insight for a commoner?
Just really fast.
How did the commoner get 25 deception? Is my question.
I'm just gonna say, as far as I'm concerned, what I was seeing was we were all standing here, and then you said,
"Holy fuck!"
So
no. I walked to the edge of the. I literally said I walked to the edge of the encounter, and then
let me finish my sentence. I'm not saying that you didn't change it to that, but at the start, when we first started, you said I'm booking it, and then you ran up to here. As the situation.
Okay, if I get to take a movement action, like this is 20 feet. I get to get this far.
I'm telling you what happened.
And with dash action, I get out of the map.
So
if I actually got to take an action, but I didn't get to take an action, they killed me.
In the first turn, that's what happened, and then you changed it and you said, okay, that makes sense. Obviously, I'm gonna wait until I'm at the edge and I'm gonna start running.
No, I said that I never said. He never said that he's booking it.
Right,
he said, I said, out of character, I'm going to look for an opportunity to run away. And I literally got surrounded with no perception check on people that incited and said they twice incited with 25 deception or higher.
I would just like to point out, though, that as soon as all of this happened, you haven't let a single person finish their sentence to let anybody even figure out what's going on. Because this has changed very quickly.
These commoners are at least level 20, because they have 25 insight, 25 deception with no proficiency.
All right. Well, I mean, this just escalated very quickly, and I think that's what happened.
Okay, so a couple of things here, if I could. I'm not disagreeing necessarily with the things you're saying, Gabe. Right? In fact, it should be pretty clear now that these Dragonborn were looking for an excuse.
Okay, but then why is it that they didn't get the insight that they might murder me? Like, that means if I failed the insight, that means they have 25 deception. Do they have 25? Can they roll a 25 on deception? Do these guys have +5 deception?
I think that insight was pretty well conveyed when they.
You didn't say they were looking for an excuse to murder you in cold blood. That you didn't say that.
I'm going to have to mute you here so that I can finish my my statement. Right. So the result of the insight conveyed to everyone here that these guys considered you prey and food and were looking for an excuse to make a meal out of you. Right.
And the party, just completely oblivious, totally ignored it. And they surrounded me and murdered me. And the party tried to kill me, basically. The fucking neutral good character tried to murder me, knowing full well that they were planning to eat me. So, like, that's why I'm saying it was shit RP.
Okay, so I'm not sure now what's going to happen, to be honest with you, because but I think that that's pretty clear on where we are. That the Dragonborn have clearly indicated that they view the halfling as a perfectly valid target for dinner, and now
and then murdered him.
Yeah, because they are green Dragonborn. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's out of character for them to do that, but they literally surrounded me and murdered me, and the party tried to kill me. That's why I'm saying it's out of character for the 4 people that aren't chaotic evil cannibals to try to help them murder me and just stand there like idiots.
Okay, so now we need to see what the other characters are going to do, right? So yeah, so
you all have intelligence of like 6, right? Like if you're not chaotic evil, you have intelligence of 6, is what I'm saying.
All right, so the Dragonborn look like they are preparing to. They seem pretty happy that the halfling made a break for it, and they were able to
didn't make a break for it. Walked towards the edge of the town, and then looked like he might be making a break for it. What's everyone's passive perception? Hold on. Does anyone have a passive perception of 15 or higher?
Mine's 9.
I'll make a stealth roll, and then you make the passive
perception
perception.
is 9.
Okay, your passive perception is 9. So the number to beat is 11. Anyone have higher passive perception than not 11?
Right. So now the question is, what is everybody?
While
else
you're distracted, so you have -5.
To prepare the halfling for dinner.
Nobody understands that I actually was trying to make a break for it. Nobody has a higher than 16 passive perception, to my knowledge.
How many people here are sitting here with a mic and can hear? Because a couple people said be right back, and I don't know if they're back yet.
Well, I'm here, and I know. Are there people who have left? I don't know.
Sage is here. Said he'd be back. He'd be right back, but I don't know if he's back yet.
Okay, so the Dragonborn seem quite happy with the idea of taking that. They think that he will not only will he make a good dinner, but they will have leftovers.
You're either intelligence of 6 or chaotic evil. Pick one.
Dragonborn or
the Dragonborn seem intent on having halfling steak, and the question is, what are the other 4? And I hesitate to use the term heroes, but I'm going to.
Yeah. So
idiots/evil people.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry. I'm going to stop everyone right there, and I'm going to disconnect because I'm tired of being called an idiot.
Dumb.
So I'm sorry that I'm disconnecting. If you want to kick me out of this game, that's fine. But I'm done for the night. I'm not going to sit here and be.
I'm not saying you out of character are an idiot. I'm saying you aren't paying attention out of character.
Yes, you are.
I'm saying out of character, you are not paying attention to the game.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm so sorry. Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night, Anna. I understand your position.
By the time they can eat him.
So is Cade's character still unconscious, or did he get back up and get unconscious?
No,
I have 4 hours.
His character is unconscious. He will be unconscious for several hours. The Dragonborn appear intent on having him for dinner.
Okay. So
I'm gonna go up to the guy the original guard that we spoke to outside. Is he here?
Well, they move in and out. Yeah.
Can I see him?
You can wait. Yeah, you can wait till he comes back into camp. Sure.
Well, it just depends on what the current situation is. Because if they're actively trying to start eating him now, then I won't wait for him specifically. I was just like, if he was one of these guards that ran in and was trying to stop him.
No, the guards did not come in. These were the commoners in the camp.
Okay.
Who were frustrated at being vegetarians, saw an opportunity to make a meal out of the halfling.
And none of you have any inclination that I might have been trying to run away, because you all do not have enough passive perception to see through that.
To see through you just walking away? Or your stealth of 11?
Yeah, no, you can. Because you're distracted, right? You're not paying attention to what's going on. Not paying attention to me walking towards the end of the camp. You were watching the people eating dinner, unless, of course, you went to retcon and say that you were watching me. In which case, you have to beat a. You have to get a perception of 11 or higher.
I have a passive of 14.
Okay, so you have -5, so that means you have 9. So you fail. You don't notice anything.
How do I have a
You
negative
think
5?
I was just standing around? Because okay, how it works, right? Is there's certain attributes. How disadvantage on passive perception works is you get a -5. So like if you're walking at full speed, which means 30 feet for you, right? Then you get -5. Or alternatively, if you're not paying attention, -5. If it's dim light, -5, which it is dim light. So no matter what, it's dim light.
I have
Unless you have
dark
dark
vision.
vision, in which case it's still I think dark vision dim light is bright or no? It's still dim light if it's dark vision. So it's -5.
So
It's no matter what, you have the -5 applied. You might have a -10 applied. Who knows?
So
passive perception doesn't enter into this in any way, right? So let me recap.
So they don't have to. So they just know they have the insights and they have the sense, the sixth sense, the spidey sense that he was doing this without having to roll anything, without paying any attention. They have a passive perception of 20. Is what you're
The only
saying.
thing that was a bunch of Dragonborn run past him. That's all he's saying.
Right. So let me recap what happened. So Cade begins to.
Cade is
he's on his
meandered
mount,
to the edge of the thing,
and begins
and then he got
heading
killed.
towards the border in a subtle way as he can. The Dragonborn see this as an excuse. All afternoon, they begin shouting, "He's going to go bring the Inquisition!" And they go over and render him unconscious.
Before he's even
And
left camp,
that
he's been
brings
rendered
us up to
unconscious.
where we are now.
Get the recap.
Okay,
He
then
hasn't actually done anything.
I will go up to one of the commoners, I'll go up to this guy who's right next to me. And I'm going to say, excuse me, stop, hold on, wait a moment, and does he look at me?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'll say, I'm sorry, there must have been some misunderstanding here. We are here on official business on behalf of a royal noble family of a nearby city, and we are here to discuss with Sir Orphus about potentially any beneficial arrangements that could be made between the neighboring towns and your group here to result in a peaceful coalition so that everyone can be happy. And you must have mistaken my friend here for attempting to be doing something. I'm not sure, but I won't fault you for trying to stop him or to
Chaotic evil. Just saying.
His dog just gets nervous and
yes, and we just
Dog's dead, by the way. Dog doesn't get to make death saves. It's not a fucking companion. It's
we
dead.
would just like
it got
to
poisoned
ask
and
for
died.
you to hold on a moment, and by all means, we can keep him here. We do not want to start any combat, any. We don't mean to cause any trouble, is effectively what I'm trying to say. I think there's just been a misunderstanding here, and if you would allow us to just remain here, then we can try and resolve this. We spoke to one of your guards outside. I'm sure he can attest to this.
So what is it you're wanting us to do? You're wanting us to not have this tasty dinner that we were
he wouldn't
all
be
out
that
looking forward
tasty.
to?
Usually he eats nasty stuff. He wouldn't be that tasty.
And I would also like to remind you that we are here on official business, and we have done nothing but try to aid you. We have tried to help you with fortifying your home here, and you are still new. You are still. This is a very young encampment, and we have no wish here but to provide, like I said, a peaceful arrangement for everyone. So if you were to eat him and to do anything harmful to any of us, really, I fear what that would mean when we don't return and when people come looking. I don't mean to pull this card, so to say, but I don't know if you're really at a place to be risking making so many enemies, especially while you're in such an exposed state.
Well, these commoners have 320s, so they're fucking badass. So I mean,
So,
Right, so I don't know if you're trying to intimidate or persuade there. Which either of those would be appropriate.
I mean, either one is equal for me, so
these commoners can literally slaughter the whole town just
I'm
alone.
gonna persuade.
So I mean, I hope it's not intimidation.
Right, so they will hold off on until their little. They were looking forward to having that for dinner, but I guess there's no harm in postponing that for a while.
I'll get it.
They're not real. They are not real optimistic in your chances of persuading Ortho to your favor, right? I don't know how it is that you think that Ortho would take a different course, but sure, they'll wait for Ortho to. It's going to be a couple of days, though.
So, was he the one that was like, "We don't know how you're going to convince him," or are you just telling me that out of character?
No, he's telling you that.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll say, well, from what we've been able to gather, it's clear you are having some difficulties. As you said, you're obviously not happy with the provisions that are nearby. There also seems to be some negative attributes from the manipulation that's going on in the land. And I'll say it again, we're looking for a resolution that's going to benefit everyone, and no one wants dark forces moving around in the forest. As long as we can respect each other's boundaries and remember that we all have a right to our own livelihoods and ways of life, then I think we can assist you with removing this dark force and helping you with setting up a life for yourself. It all starts on you, though. It's all on you right now.
Now, we are what you call a dark force. We see as a very powerful protector. We're very happy that dark force is in place here. We presume that it will be the primary defense against those who would dislocate us, and do us harm.
Yes, you presume until one day your child goes exploring out too far and one of these dark creations doesn't know how to differentiate them from a local dragonborn from another area that happens to have come by, or whatever the case. You're really willing to risk this, and there are people nearby that won't take kindly to your actions of simply devouring innocent people who merely seek to help you. So I don't know what else to tell you.
I can say we will put off eating the halfling until Ortho returns, but you seem you seem to have a different view of the way things work, right? That the idea that we could live peacefully, we could peacefully coexist with, is just not in our history. Yeah, we're fairly sure that we're going to have to violently defend our and
yes, defend. But what you're talking about is outright murder.
Then once we've established a firm defense, right, that sort of leads one to empire building. We fully expect that this will be the genesis of a green dragon territory that will subjugate, pretty much everybody as far as we're able to extend. Okay. But first, we've got to establish a solid base and unify our people.
Is he literally telling me that he's planning on taking over everything?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I don't really need to roll to see okay, so there's obviously no negotiating. They're obviously just going to end up killing all of us when we talk to this Ortho dude. I'm sorry, one more time. What is his name?
Ortho.
Oh, Ortho. Yeah. So I'm deducing now. Literally, they're just going to kill us as soon as Ortho comes.
That is what they expect. Yes, they expect it.
Then I will turn and give a significant look to Victor. And I mean, I'm not sure how much further we're going to go without having Anna here. And to be completely honest, I don't really want to play much more right now. I feel like it just kind of took a turn and it didn't need to. Also, I live in Florida and I've gone through Irma recently and I haven't really gotten any sleep, so I kind of might be getting off now if you'll have me still next week, maybe we can try again, and it won't turn into a thing.
Well, I don't see how you're going to get out of this. I mean, I mean, we can talk about it. I mean, I'm not going to force you to play. I mean, if you've got things you got to do, you got things you got to do. Yeah, but you're kind of in a bad situation at the moment.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely agreeing. I'm just saying maybe when she gets back, we can talk about like what we're gonna do. Like just at least having her here so she can actually play. Unless you're just saying she's gone now.
Well, I don't know what's going to happen with her either. I'm gonna have to figure out what she wants to do first of all, and then what she wants to do, we'll have to figure out some way to resolve it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not trying to say getting out of this situation. I'm just having everyone here so that way whatever happens, everyone can accurately play out their person. But I don't know. But I just, to be honest, I didn't really expect it to turn into something like this. And if it's going to turn into a thing where every single time we play,
well, one
decision.
I'm going to say this. It appears to me like that we have some evil characters in them. And yeah, if you've got a mixture of evil and good characters, that's going to be a slog all the way through. So people have got to decide what they're going to do with regards to each other. I mean,
yeah, I agree. But
you can't say, well, I'm going to do this, and then have your party members say, well, I'm going to turn against you and fight with the bad guys and expect to be victorious in the end. That's just not the way heroism works.
To be fair, that's not even how, like I said, it went from he was standing here and he said he wanted to run away to then he changed it and said he was just going to walk here and then try to run. And then there's just a lot of rapid talking. The way I understood it was they all said, oh, he's getting away, we have to stop him. I thought they were just trying to stop him. And I think that's what he meant when he tried to put him asleep. So I thought we were just going to try and capture him. I didn't know they were actually getting ready to try and eat him on the spot. And that's how I was playing with that train of thought. But if I was mistaken, I apologize.
No, there was a lot of switching of what he was doing or what he was trying to infer that he was doing. And my character understood that they all went, oh, he's trying to escape, we need to stop him. Stop him doesn't necessarily mean we're killing him. So in the best interest of the law that had been placed, we were told, do not make any attempts to escape, we will stop you. His attempt was to try to put him to sleep, and that way there wouldn't be that situation that occurred when it occurred, because he was still trying to go.
I was trying to avoid this whole
right
before it got to that point.
Right, and it wasn't even the rest of the party's fault that happened.
Okay.
So
I sympathize with everybody, I guess is what I'm saying.
No, it's just something we need to figure out. But to be fair, to throwing around all the comments rapid fire like that was a bit uncalled for. So that's my input on that. It is what it is.
Well, I understand people get excited when they have a character in jeopardy. Yeah, it's easy to let your excitement get out of the expected boundaries of discourse.
Yeah, well, and what he was doing, that's pretty much like what was it, last week when I was asking you about all the stealth rulings that you go by last Wednesday?
Right.
That was that's a very good example right there of why I was asking those rules in that method.
I'm back.
Okay. Well, I am not sure how we're going to get out of here, to be honest with you.
I mean, I didn't... Okay, well, are we taking a break right now, or are we, still in the game? What's going on?
I don't have a scenario that has gracefully at this point.
Okay.
They
I
would
mean,
have-
we all just die, right? Like these. That's what happens here.
no,
Or the halfling dies. Because the dog's already dead.
No, the halfling's not dead. The halfling
Dog's
is
dead,
unconscious.
though.
The dog
Dog-
is dead.
Yeah, they killed the dog. Halfling's unconscious. And are we like in an OC break moment right now? Or not like doing the RP?
Well, here's the
We
thing.
have. There is a
They
mechanic for.
agreed that they wouldn't eat you until they also said that'll be a couple days.
Okay. So can we like have a
So
talk for a
we
second
need-
about stuff?
We need to make a plan or something.
So my question is: are we going to try to escape? Are we just going to reform and try this again from scratch? Because there is a mechanic for escape.
Can I talk to you for a second, Dimgaard, about like escaping and stuff, like this encounter?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Okay, can I just talk to you? Can we like call a break for a second? Like, can I talk to you about something real quick? Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say that these guys are dragonborn commoners, right? Like, if you go into Compendium, there is a stat line attached to commoner, and that's like supposed to be the typical commoner. Like, that's what you're thinking of. They don't have to be exactly that, right? But like, if you think of commoner, it should be something close to that. So whenever you say like, "There's an ancient black dragon," you know, it's like supposed to be something that seems like it's an ancient black dragon. That's like the whole idea of having all this compendium stuff, right? It's like when you say these guys seem like commoners, dragonborn commoners, there's a stat line attached to that. That stat line, right, has certain things. It has things like there's a stuff called the vigilant feat, right? There's something called wisdom, perception, and passive perception. And let's say, right, that we wanted to have guys that had vigilant and not only had vigilant, but had enough perception to just auto-detect shit like that, right? Like to make it so that there was no reasonable chance that I could just get it out of their sight. So like for that, right, you'd have what I think it's like a guard that has vigilant. I'm trying to figure. So like guards, no. So I'm trying to think. I'm not aware of any monsters that have the feat vigilant. But like for something to have a passive perception high enough to just automatically like for right now, right? If they had vigilant and they had a wisdom of like 15, they would just automatically. There's nothing I could do that I would get seen through like because I couldn't stealth that high. But here's the thing, right? If in the event, right, that they have that, they're no longer because they have literally +5 and a feat on top of a normal commoner, and on top of that, these commoners also have enough charisma to get past a 24 insight check to whether or not they're planning on killing me. That's like a typical